If someone asked you, who is the most important character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe during its early phases? I'm sure the answers would be wildly different. Some of you might say Iron Man because, realistically, if Tony Stark hadn't built that first suit in a cave back in 2008, the MCU might not even exist. He's the reason Marvel's cinematic universe kicked off so explosively, and sure, that makes him a solid choice. Others might point to Captain America. I mean, come on, Steve Rogers is the glue holding the Avengers together, the moral compass that keeps them from spiraling into chaos. It's hard to imagine Earth's mightiest heroes without his belief that they can, and should, fight for the greater good. And of course there's Thor, a literal god, whose divine powers and unmatched strength make him one of the most powerful characters in the entire MCU. With his connection to Asgard and the universe at large, Thor brought in the cosmic scale Marvel needed to pull off something as ambitious as the Infinity Saga. But let me flip the question back to you. Who do you think was the most important character in Marvel's early phases? And why? Drop your answers in the comments. I'll wait. As for me, after watching and re-watching the Marvel movies so many times that I can probably quote half the dialogue by heart, I've come to my own conclusion. It's not Iron Man. It's not Thor. And it's not even Captain America. My pick. Loki. Yeah, I know. Hear me out. Loki, the god of mischief, Thor's chaotic brother, and one of the MCU's most iconic villains, is, at least in my eyes, the most important piece of Marvel's early phases. And it's not just because of his fan-favorite charm, or how fun it is to watch him pull one scheme after another. Without Loki, most of the pivotal moments that built the Infinity Saga wouldn't have happened. If you remove Loki from the equation, the Avengers probably wouldn't have formed the way they did, and Thanos' arrival might have been delayed, or worse, never happened at all. And when you dig deeper, that's the real magic of Loki. Let me break this down for you. Let's kick things off where it all started, the Battle of New York. Think back to 2012's The Avengers. That iconic moment where Earth's mightiest heroes unite for the first time to face a massive alien invasion? All those crazy goosebumps-inducing scenes. Hulk smashing, Thor summoning lightning, Cap's shield bouncing off Iron Man's blasts. It all happened because of Loki. He was the one who struck a deal with Thanos to deliver the Tesseract, came to Earth rocking the Mind Stone housed in his scepter, opened a wormhole above Manhattan, unleashing an army of Chitauri warriors. And why does all this matter? Because Loki wasn't just the villain of that movie. He was the reason the Avengers unified in the first place. If Loki hadn't invaded Earth, Steve and Tony would have kept squabbling about whose morality was better. Bruce Banner probably would have kept dodging anything even remotely stressful. And Thor? He would have been off playing protector to the Nine Realms, never finding the reason to team up with Earth's fighters. But it doesn't stop there. Loki didn't just bring the heroes together. He also introduced the Infinity Stones to the larger MCU by bringing the Mind Stone and Space Stone, aka the Tesseract, into play. With one plot, he brought both Thanos' ambitions and the Avengers' alliances into the spotlight. Now, let's talk specifically about the Tesseract, because this little glowing cube? It's more important than most people realize. At first glance, the Tesseract seemed like just another powerful item, a cosmic toy for Loki and other characters to squabble over. But by the time the Avengers hit theaters, it had become the center of the MCU's Phase 1 storyline. Here's the thing. The Tesseract is the Space Stone, one of the 6 Infinity Stones Thanos needed for his gauntlet. Loki brought it into the spotlight, and because of his actions, the Tesseract became the weapon of choice for invading Earth. Changed hands between heroes, villains, and everyone in between: S.H.I.E.L.D., Hydra, Asgard, you name it. And eventually landed right in Thanos' hands during Infinity War. Without Loki stealing the Tesseract, Thanos wouldn't have gotten the first piece of his puzzle so easily. Loki was essential to setting this massive chain reaction into motion, and every move he made with it carried the MCU closer to the ultimate showdown with Thanos. But let's not just focus on the big picture effects. Loki's personal evolution deserves some love too. Sure, Loki is introduced as the classic villain, a Shakespearean, chaotic trickster who thrives on deception and betrayal. But by the time Thor, the Dark World rolled around in 2013, we start seeing a more vulnerable side to him. He grieves his mother, Frigga. He wrestles with self-doubt. And for the first time, we see that behind Loki's schemes and arrogance, there's someone desperate to prove himself. Someone struggling with his identity as Thor's lesser brother. Fast forward to Thor, Ragnarok, and Loki surprises us again by teaming up with Thor. He helps save the people of Asgard, fights alongside his brother, and comes full circle as a character. But maybe the most emotional Loki moment happens in the opening of Infinity War. Loki's death scene isn't just shocking, it's devastating. At this point, he's no longer just the mischievous god who's out for himself. Loki dies trying to save his brother, sacrificing his life in the process. Without Loki's early chaos, Thanos might never have been stopped. And without Loki's arc, his eventual death wouldn't hit nearly as hard. Now, imagine for a second what the MCU might look like if Loki didn't exist. Who would have brought the Avengers together? Tony and Steve were too busy arguing to unite without Loki as a common enemy. Would Thanos have made his big Infinity Stone play so early, or would he have stayed in the shadows for longer? And what about Thor? Without Loki challenging and provoking him, would he have grown as much as a character? Thor needed Loki as a foil to mature into the powerful, selfless god we see later in Ragnarok and beyond. Take Loki out of the equation, and Marvel's Infinity Saga quite literally starts falling apart. In the end, Loki wasn't just another antagonist. He was a crucial part of almost everything that made the MCU's early phases great. From bringing the Tesseract and the Avengers into the same story, to pushing Thanos' plans forward, to deepening emotional stakes with his personal story. Loki is easily one of the most important characters in the entire franchise. So what about you? Who do you think deserves the title of the most important character in Marvel's early phases? Is it Loki, Iron Man, Thor, or someone else entirely? Let me know in the comments, and let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into your favorite cinematic universes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.